Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Georgia-Alabama Sports Live. And today we are live at the Brookstone Football Media Days here at Brookstone School. The Cougars had a phenomenal season last year in Coach Gillespie's first year as the head man and the head football coach here. Yesterday, of course, we were at Muskogee County. We did all 8 schools. Thank you again to Jeff Battles, Debbie Skipworth, and all the other media members that made yesterday's Media Day possible. And also our sponsors. Alliance Specialty Contractors, the premier sponsor for both these media days. We appreciate everything that they do supporting all local athletics, high school athletics. And if you need any type of roofing, they're the premier roofing company in Columbus, Georgia. Alliance Specialty Contractors. Jody Crum and her staff do a great job, and we appreciate their support. And I want to bring on my partner in crime, my co-host, my cameraman, my literally do-it-all guy, because there's only 2 of us, so we have to do pretty much everything. So if you're interested in becoming part of the Georgia-Alabama Sports Live team, please contact me or Richard. We'd love to have you and sit down and talk with you about what you can bring to the table and what we need as we're heading to doing many live streams, especially football will be the first sport, and we're going to try to tackle as many sports as possible throughout the 2023-2024 season. Richard, I'm excited about being here at Brookstone. They had a great year last year, and I just wanted to say yesterday's Muskogee County Media Day, what an excellent job by the players and the coaches, very well spoken, and thank you again to Jeff Battles for everything he did.
I'm really excited to be here on the campus of Brookstone for their media days. Like you mentioned, last year they went 8-4. They started the year 3-0. They defeated Glenwood. It was on a last-second play.
Yeah.
And they did lose to Pacelli in the battle for the Brucelli Jug. And they did beat First Presbyterian Day in the first round of the playoffs, but fell to Pacelli in the semifinals of the GIAA in a classic game. It went to overtime. It could have went either way.
Yeah.
Head coach Coach Gillespie has a great team, and they're looking to have a great season in the 2023 season for the GIAA.
We're going to go into about what happened last season momentarily. I know, Richard, you gave us a little quick snippet, but the main reason for doing these media days is just give it a little bit of a preview of what we expect the teams to look like, who are some of the key players heading into next season, and we got a bunch of them. Thank you again to everyone at Brookstone that put this packet together. Same thing with Muskogee County and Jeff Battles. When we're doing live streams, when we're doing broadcasts, when we're doing radio shows like the SportsVisions radio show, you can hear me and DJ Jones every Monday and Thursday, 4 to 6 p.m. on 92.1 Smooth R&B. We need this information so that we can properly talk about everything that's going on in locally in the high school world of sports. So thank you again for Brookstone and Jeff Battles and Debbie Skipworth of Muskogee County for giving us the information we needed to make sure that we can talk about these players and coaches the right way and give them the proper exposure, again, like I said, that they deserve. All right, Richard talked about it last year. Coach Gillespie had an opportunity to do a coaches conversation, state of the program. That was part of our tour that we did. I went to almost every AD. The last AD I'm going to sit with is Harris County next week, Mindy Johnson. So that will be 14 different schools that I talked with their AD to promote all their athletics, not just a certain sport, but all their athletics. And when I talked with Coach Gillespie, I found out this guy was a Hall of Fame coach in his own right, coach at Peach County and many other different schools. He won a state championship at Peach County, beat Shaw back in 2006 when Cam Greathouse was the quarterback back then. So the guy's got winning pedigree, and he comes here at Brookstone and takes over a program under former coach Blair Harrison, who laid a great foundation, had a great culture. So he's not coming in with a morbid program. He's coming in a program that has had winning before. Coach Blair Harrison, one of the winningest coaches in Brookstone history, and he takes over, and now he just took off and ran with it. Last year, they were one play away. It was 4th and about 25. I was at the game, Brookstone-Pacelli semifinal, and Cam Ellis made one of the greatest plays we saw from a high school quarterback. And if he didn't do that, we may be talking about Brookstone being a state champion right now. But with that being said, I'd say a successful season in Coach Gillespie's initial season.
It really was a successful season, Thrift, and we got to see the brand new stadium that we are actually looking at right now. This is just a great area. The Max Strong Stadium, it was named after just the great Seattle Seahawks fullback Max Strong, who is a Brookstone alum.
Yeah.
And It's a state-of-the-art stadium, and
it's a state-of-the-art facility.
Yeah,
it's a state-of-the-art
absolutely.
campus. But if you've never been on Brookstone's campus, you're going to be blown away. It's like a college campus. Right now, we're in the cafeteria, and I'm telling you, you see the football field in the cafeteria, which is pretty freaking cool. But with that being said, man, I love the way Brookstone competed. After losing to Pacelli here in the week 5 or 6 of the regular season last year, myself and DJ Jones, we called the game on the SportsVisions Game of the Week. And, you know, many people thought Brookstone was going to be an afterthought. They didn't have a chance to win a state championship. They upset someone on the road in the first round of the playoffs. Then they go on to play Pacelli in the semifinals. And I think we've talked about this before. Brookstone outplayed Pacelli the majority of the game. But because of that miraculous play by Cam Ellis, went to overtime. I mean, it was by far the best game of the high school football season last year. And I think Brookstone should have held their head held high, and I think they did. And I think this year they're going to take that momentum, and they're going to try to win a state championship and get on the right path. And they got a bunch of great players coming back, including an all-region player in Chris Vickerson. He was phenomenal last year during his season with the Brookstone Cougars. He's also a fantastic basketball player, but he's a tight end and defensive end. I think he's looking to go play at the next level in football, even though he's a really good basketball player. He was all-region in football and basketball. That's the type of athlete he is. So looking forward to hearing from him as well.
I'm also looking forward to hearing the running back Lane Cannon, who was the backup to Dimitri Flowers last year. He averaged 8.9 yards a carry. So he's going to get the workload. And we're going to get a chance to hear from the seniors. And here we're going to get to hear from 6 of them. So we'll get some 6 interviews from the Brookstone seniors. They get ready for their first game, and I'm excited. And then and they play your alma mater, Glenwood.
Yeah, so they got Lane Cannon, who's a running back, Swift Branch, wide receiver, defensive back, Ian McGarry, offensive lineman, defensive lineman, Brooks Roney, the new starting quarterback for the Brookstone Cougars. Interested in hearing from him. Chris Vickerson, as I talked about, the tight end and defensive end, and Holt Young, offensive lineman. These are the 6 players that are going to be here. And, of course, Coach Rance Gillespie, which we'll hear from him momentarily. But, Richard, like I talked about, Brookstone is in a good place, especially football-wise, when you get a guy like Coach Rance Gillespie. And to be honest with you, as a guy that's in media, we talked about him being the head coach last year and getting the job at Brookstone. But I didn't know that he had all the winning pedigree, and everywhere he's been, he's won, including state championships at the highest level. So bringing him to Brookstone, eventually, we're talking in the next 3 or 4 years, I expect Brookstone to have their own state championship. Like we talked about, they were really close last year. So looking forward to hearing from Coach Gillespie and all the players. Thank you again to Brookstone for putting this packet together, Richard. And give me, Nick, one thought before we start turning the camera, what you expect to hear and what you want to learn from today's media day.
What I want to hear from the coach and the players is how they're looking forward to this season and what are the expectations. I know we hear all the time, taking it week by week. I mean, they do have a tough matchup. We were looking at the schedule. I mean, they do play Chatgo next week.
Yeah.
And we need to verify if that is a
We want to verify that.
We want to verify if that's a preseason game.
Yeah, because if it's not, we initially thought August 18th was going to be our first time we live stream on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. But it may be August 11th if that is a legitimate game. But we had several teams last night playing scrimmage games. Columbus, Spencer, Hardaway went up to Brooks County. Next week we'll have even more teams around the area playing scrimmage games. I think Brookstone's playing Chattahoochee County. We'll verify that here in today's media day. The team they did upset last year in the first round was First Presbyterian Day. They beat them 38-30 before they played Brookstone in the semifinal. Some of the things that I want to learn is the new quarterback coming in this year, Brooks Roney. He's a starter. Last year's quarterback is not here this year, and we're excited to hear from Coach Gillespie and Brooks about this upcoming season. And you know, the quarterback position, especially in a Rance Gillespie-led offense, is one of the most important positions on the field. So looking forward to hearing from Coach Gillespie and him about this upcoming season. All right, Richard, I'm going to have you go around and go ahead and turn the camera as we're going to get started here in the next 7 minutes. Brookstone Football Media Day presented by Alliance Specialty Contractors live on Georgia Alabama Sports Live and SportsVisions. Shout out to DJ Jones. Thank you again for everything he does, and looking forward to it. I know here in the next few moments we'll probably have Redmond coming in. We'll probably have Tony Reese, our guys from the local TV station. So looking forward to it. Richard, if you want to go ahead and go around so you can turn the camera. And we want to say thank you to everyone that tunes in. Share the video, tag us, like our Facebook page. We are doing this for the given high school athletics specifically right now the proper exposure they deserve heading into their sports season. All right, we're going to turn the camera and we're going to get started here at Media Day in the next 6 minutes. Terrence, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Good to see you, bro.
My bad, man. I had to look see what was going on, had to get my situation. Coach.
Coach Gillespie.
Appreciate you coming.
Thank you.
Let me see your phone. Let me see your phone.
Schools, thank you again to Jeff Battles.
Did you want us to take a picture?
No, I just said I want him on camera.
Smile, boys. One time, or just at least look this way.
Where are my boys at right now? I know. And it's early morning. Need a plug. You can give me. My boy Tyler Rebin just in the building, WRBLs, and is also his podcast on deck. Braves are on fire right now.
I like the fact he's supporting the On Deck with Tyler Redmond podcast. He's got the shirt. I watch it. I mean, right now the Braves.
What do you not watch, Richard? I mean,
I try to support everybody
I'm
local
kidding,
to Columbus.
I'm kidding.
Braves are the best team in the National League right
Yeah.
now, and so Tyler's on it when it comes to Braves.
How about the best team in Major League Baseball?
In Major League Baseball. Yeah.
See if this works. Is this good? Volume, everything? All right. Good morning. My name is Jason Branch, and I'm a member of the Board of Trustees of Brookstone School. And it is my honor and privilege at this time to welcome you to our 2023 Football Media Day. Today, there you go. I like it. Enthusiasm. Today is an exciting day. And we are excited about kicking off another season of Brookstone Cougar football. As I look into the crowd, I know we've got parents, we've got friends, supporters, we've got members of the local media, and we appreciate your support of Brookstone, and we appreciate you being here this morning, and particularly members of the media. We appreciate the job that you do, not only for our kids, but the kids throughout the Chattahoochee Valley, and we commend you and thank you for doing that. It seems like that it was not that long ago that we were right here in this room. It was a year ago, and I was introducing for the first time our then brand new head coach, Rance Gillespie. And I'm sure Coach Gillespie needs less of an introduction today. In a very short period of time, Coach Gillespie has rebuilt, re-energized, and already left his mark on the Brookstone football program. In his first year, he led the Cougars to an 8-4 season, 3-1 region record, and an impressive 5-1 record in away games. Under his leadership and direction, we were one play, and I mean literally one play away for playing for a state championship in his first year. Prior to coming to Brookstone, Coach Gillespie has enjoyed an over 30-year career, all of it spent coaching at the high school and college level, all within the state of Georgia. He is one of the most talented football coaches in the state of Georgia, and I would submit one of, if not the best, football coach in the Chattahoochee Valley. Some of his career highlights include serving as offensive coordinator on 2 separate occasions for Georgia Southern University when they sought to redesign and evolve their offense from the triple option. Winning 2 state championships at Peach County, being hired by Valdosta High School when the administration at Valdosta sought to find the perfect coach to return Valdosta and its program to its winning ways and position of prominence as one of the most elite and most storied high school football programs in Georgia high school football history, something that he was able to accomplish under his direction and leadership. He has been named Georgia High School Football Coach of the Year on multiple occasions by multiple organizations. And one last fun fact about his career: while he was at Peach County for over an 11-year period, coaching quarterbacks as either the offensive coordinator or the head coach, every quarterback that he coached went on to earn and sign a Division I scholarship. Coach Gillespie has always been a student of the game, ability to be able to coach and to get the most out of his kids and players and to develop them and prepare for them not only to play but to succeed at the next level. We at Brookstone are incredibly fortunate and blessed to have a coach with such knowledge, experience, and ability to lead our kids and lead our football program. At this time, it is my honor and privilege to introduce and turn the program over to our very own Coach Rance Gillespie.
Guys, I appreciate everybody coming out today. It's a exciting time of the year. I love this time of year for multiple reasons. It's so much fun for me to start with a group in May and see them transform from kind of looking around to looking for those 9 guys that were the leadership of the football team last year to growing into that role and leading a football team. Trying to figure out where everybody goes, trying to take a young group and teach them how to be a scout team so that you get reps, and trying to get all of those things pieced together, trying to figure out what you're going to be good at, what things we need to emphasize within an offense, where we need to go defensively, and then watching all the personalities come together. Last night, spending the night together, I think those things are so important. And I think by experiencing a year with COVID and having all of those things absent, it became really hard to build a team. And that's the most important part. You hear me talk about relationships all the time, and that's the things that I think are the most important for these kids, but I also think it's the most powerful thing that we have is a brotherhood. And so that's the great thing about high school athletics. And then the other thing is you see this sign, and I kind of got on my soapbox a little bit this spring, talking about the direction that you see football heading to NILs, and how much am I going to make, and all of the individuality that is emphasized in football. And we want to be about something that's a little bit different, because there's very few programs anymore that can honestly say that they stand for a brand and for one another. And that's the way we want to do it here at Brookstone. And we take great pride in that, take great pride in our culture, the things that we accept, the things that we don't, the way that we practice, the way that we conduct ourselves, the expectations that we place on one another. And we emphasize that it's okay for us to place expectations on one another. But as far as the upcoming season, this football team has gotten better and better and better each day that we go out. It's exciting to watch. Offensively, we've got a good core back on that side of the ball, and there's a lot of carryover, and to see them grow from one year to the next has been really good. And there's some people that will have to step up and fill some big shoes. We lost a 1,000-yard receiver. And we lost a back. We lost some offensive linemen. So there's places that people have to step up all over the place. And then on defense, it's not every year that you have a kid that goes to Georgia and a kid that goes to Air Force. We would love to have kids that go to Georgia and go to Air Force every year, but those are big shoes to fill. And our team is working to do just that. So with that, what I will do is I'll open it up to you guys, and I'll ask if there's any questions, and then we'll let these guys come up one by one, and you can ask those. So,
Coach, that first game next week against Chattahoochee County, is that a regular season game or a preseason game?
It is a preseason scrimmage game, so it's our opportunity. There will be some areas in it that are controlled. We'll control some of the special teams. One of the things that we've always done is anytime there's a punt, there will not be a turnover on a punt, because what we will do is we're only going to play 3 quarters. So if there's a turnover, what you end up doing is you end up losing the whole possession. You could go out and you could have 60 snaps on offense and they fumble a punt, and you go right back to offense, and you only end up with 25 snaps on defense. So we try to keep it balanced, make sure that if there is a turnover, that's an earned turnover, not a muff punt or something like that. So we'll control some things in the special teams, but other than that, we do want to make it as game-like as we possibly can, so that we'll understand where we're at, understand the feel of a game, the flow of a game, and all of those things. It's really hard to replicate through a practice, and just see where we're at.
Coach, it's been a year now, as he talked about before you came up here. Talk about how that's been this first year under your belt, and talk about how awesome it's been to be the head coach of Brookstone and the AD.
Yeah, it has been awesome. It's been a great experience. I will say that we made the transition here extremely well, extremely fast, and that's not a credit to me at all. That's a credit to these kids and the buy-in that we had from day one. From the first time I stood in front of them, they were ready to do whatever, and that takes a lot of trust, and it's a leap of faith. And a lot of times, anytime there's a change in leadership, there's a group that always kind of wants to stick their toe in the water and kind of say, let's kind of see what this guy's about before we go all in. And that's not the way they did. They jumped all in, and so that transition was made a lot faster. And I think that led to a lot of our success last year. This year, it's even easier. They understand those expectations. The culture is set, and it's just a transition from the group that was leading last year to a whole new group of leadership. And that's a fun thing for me to watch those kids transition into that phase and realize that, hey, if I don't say it, nobody's going to say it. And then to realize that, hey, I can say it and they will react, and then they get better and better and better. It's like any other muscle. Once it starts to be exercised, they get better and better and stronger at it.
Coach, can you tell us a little bit about all the kids that you brought today?
Yeah. So it's our senior class, and we asked our senior class to come up and speak to you guys. Okay, Holt is offensive lineman, defensive lineman, and I'll just go right down the line for us. Okay, Chris Vickerson plays tight end and what we call jack. It's kind of a hybrid outside linebacker, defensive end in our system. Brooks is our quarterback. And then Ian is our center and defensive lineman. And Lane is our starting running back. Also plays what we call the star position. It's a nickel position on defense. And Swift plays receiver and safety for us.
Hey, Coach, how you doing? How important was, with most of these guys having playing experience last year in your offense coming into this new year?
I think it's huge, and so you hope that you have carryover every year, and you start to try to build some of that carryover in your middle school program, and at least they go from middle school to varsity. So it's so important for those guys that were 10th graders, they were your rising 10s, 11s, and 12s, to have that carryover, to bring that crowd on. And I think we've done a pretty good job, especially offensively. Defensively, it's been a bigger change because we've been in transition completely on that side. We're completely changed what we did from a year ago on the defensive side of the ball. We're doing a little bit more. Last year we based out of a 4-3. This year we'll base out of a 3-4. And so there's more calls, there's more adjustments, all of those things. And so there's, on that side of the ball, it's been a little bit bigger adjustment.
Coach, coming so close against Pacelli in the GIAA semifinals last year, how much motivation is that going to be coming into this season to beat Pacelli?
Yeah, I'll let you ask these guys, but I can promise you this, for me it's huge. It is huge. It drives me every single day. Okay, that's and I'm not afraid to say that. We're here to win football games, okay? And being that close to winning a championship, that's what we want to be about. We want to be the best in GIA. And so to be that close is a huge motivation for us. And we just didn't quite get it done this year, but last year, that's what this year's about.
Coach, you have a pedigree of great relationship with quarterbacks. That's your forte. You got a new quarterback this year. Talk about your relationship with him and his growth this offseason.
Well, he'll tell you, and all of them will tell you, okay, that I'm harder on him than anybody else out there. Okay, the demands on him are more than anybody else out there, and because of the way the game is played today. And depending on what you do still a little bit offensively, if you're in a wing tee or something like that, there's times that you can take pressure off of a quarterback. And what we do, you cannot. And in what most people are doing offensively today, you cannot. That guy has got to drive the car, and he is under a tremendous amount of pressure. And we replicate that in practice. So he'll probably be relieved when Friday comes along, and he'll be like, who is that nice guy on the sidelines? I don't know who he is. But I do. I coach him extremely hard, and he's done a great job handling that. And we're trying to create pressure throughout the practice. And I have tremendous expectations for him, and he will rise to those expectations, I have no doubt. And he's done a great job doing that so far.
Coach, as close as you guys got last year, now you have a year under your belt with this team. How much confidence does getting that close last year give you in this season?
Yeah, so I think every group is different. Every group is new, but certainly we believe that that's where we belong, and we don't shy away from that expectation. That's where we want to be, and we believe that's where we should be each and every year.
Coach, I was up here under the previous coach before you, and you definitely brought a different vibe to the school, to the program. You had an amazing first year. So going into this season, how do you keep that going? Do you change the strategy because you have a different deck of cards, or you keep pushing in the same direction?
Yeah, so I think, maybe schematically, sure, you make some adjustments and you do some things a little bit different. You emphasize different parts of the offense that will accommodate your talent and the people that you have on your team. From a cultural standpoint, I think you keep pushing. I think that you try to raise the bar a little bit each and every year as far as where we can get to from an expectation standpoint. When I say that, last year we talked about being elite, and that was kind of our word for the year, no different than the brand is this year. And what I meant by that, and what I still mean by that, is you have to be elite every day. You don't show up and be elite on Friday nights by winning a football game. That's not elite. That means that you won a football game. Elite means that you give an elite effort every single day, and that never changes. And that's what football is, right? Because the reason that football is such a great game is it correlates to life, and there's so many life lessons that can be taken from it. And to get up every day and be at your best each and every single day is a very tough thing. And I've had some great friends of mine that have worked for Nick Saban, and kind of up until what Georgia's done over the last couple of years, they've been the model, right, that everybody wants to follow. And so if you're a coach, you want to study that guy. What is that guy doing right? And so these guys that have worked for him, I've asked them, I'm like, what is it? What is it that and he can burn some people out too. And they said, every second of every day that you're on the job is 4th and inches. And if you kind of understand that mentality, that's what it is. And so that's kind of the approach that we take on the football field. There's nothing laid back about the game. We want to be intense, have a sense of energy, and know that there's a sense of urgency of what's coming down the pipe, and play with the high motor. It's 4th and inches, right?
Coach, that first game against Glenwood, have you had an opportunity to scout Glenwood from previous films, and how important is it to get a win over, it would be considered a rival as far as with state bragging rights with the private school over in Alabama.
Yeah, absolutely. That's just what we need is one more big rivalry, right? So, but no, it is becoming that. We see it as that. We've got a tremendous amount of respect for Glenwood, and as far as scouting them, we're really scouting coach at this point, and kind of judging it based on what they have coming back. And we know that they have a talented quarterback that will return, and try to keep an eye on maybe some guys that they're getting in and things like that. And but we will have limited access to know what to prepare for, with it being the first game, other than their film from last year. And certainly we have already started looking at that. And but of course, just like us, they could make some adjustments and to adjust to their talent, and we've got to be ready to make those adjustments early on in the first game.
I'm going to piggyback off his question. Sure. How crucial is it for you to get off to a hot start? Because in the middle of the season, you have 4 straight road games, 2 of them against teams that played in the state championship last year in Stratford and Pacelli. Yeah. So that's going to be kind of crucial to get off that 2-0 start. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I do. And we do have a stretch that's really challenging with some really good football teams right there that have been very successful. And so, yes, it is important for us to get off to a great start, but at the same time, you don't put everything on that game.
Right.
We want to go out and we want to play to our level. Our expectation is to go out and win that football game, but it's also to play at our level and not base everything just totally on the scoreboard, but making sure that we play to our level of expectation. And that could be whether we win or lose.
Right.
Coach, looking at the schedule again, you guys play Pacelli right around the middle of the season, a couple of weeks before playoffs start. How important is that to kind of see that team ahead of playoffs, and I guess a rematch of last year's game?
Well, the politically correct thing for me to say, okay, is that Pacelli is just another football game, all right, and they're another team on our schedule, okay? The truth is that's not the case, all right? It is our biggest rivalry. Okay, and we don't shy away from recognizing that. So it is a huge game, and a lot will go into to that game, no question. So as far as it preparing us for possibly seeing them again, I think last year that it did. I thought that helped us. I thought we did a better job planning for them the second time. I thought we did a better job, especially defensively, in having a good plan the second go around.
1 year in on the Max Strong Stadium, how was commuting and being in this brand new awesome stadium? How did that fuel the team? How do you expect it to fuel this team going forward?
It's like everything that we do is first class. It really is, and it would be really, really hard for me to stand up and try to convince these kids that we're first class, we got to act first class, and you got to do this, and you got to dress a certain way, you got to look a certain way, and then take them into a stadium that doesn't look like that. It's real easy to turn around and say, that's where you're going to play, okay? And you need to act exactly like that stadium looks. And so it's just a reflection of everything that we do. If we do it at Brookstone, we do it right, and we do it to our best ability. And it's a great area for a game. It's great for the fans. The surface is absolutely phenomenal. It's as good a field as we play on all year long. Anybody else? All right, I'll let you start with them. Holt, you can come on up.
Say your name and position for us, please.
My name is Holt Young. I play O-line, left tackle, and nose guard on defense.
We'll be up close on y'all, so don't get too nervous. All right.
Holt, I'm going to start it off. Being on the O-line, what are the preparations that you're preparing for your footwork, for pass blocking, to make sure that guy over there stands upright?
Oh, well, we do numerous drills every day in practice and sleds, just again and again. Coach makes sure we know how to do it and do it right.
How important is the offensive line, y'all as a unit, to collectively be on the same page so you can protect not only Brooks, but make sure you have big holes for your running backs as well?
I mean, mean, it's really important. That's the foundation of the offense.
What kind of preparation did you guys take this year for the heat protocol? It was a real hot summer. What did Coach do to keep y'all cool this summer?
To keep us cool?
Hydrate.
Well, I mean, we ran every day. I mean, and if it was too hot, then of course coaches would accommodate for that with more water. But you know, they made sure. I feel better than I ever have in the heat, and I feel like coaches prepared us for that.
Holt, you've had a year with your head coach now. Talk to me about your relationship with him and just the impact he's had on the team.
Well, I just transferred in February, so.
Well, what's he been like since you got here?
Yeah, best coach I've ever met, and I'm really impressed. I love it here.
Holt, I don't know if you're familiar with the Brucelli jug, but how important would it be to bring that Brucelli jug back to the campus of Brookstone?
Really important. I can already feel the build up to that game and the rivalry, especially with Glenwood coming up, but also Pacelli, and yeah, I'm excited for it.
You said you just came in, welcome to Brookstone. How was it adjusting to Coach Gillespie's offensive scheme?
Well, coming in from Calvary, it's a big move, and coaches were hard on me at first, and I feel like until a week ago I did not know what I was doing, but now I'm pretty comfortable with it.
Looking into the summer, how did you really improve your game going into the season?
Well, I've lost 30 pounds and gotten stronger in all of my lifts, so that's how I've improved.
Been good?
Yeah.
My name's Chris Vickerson, and I play tight end and Jack.
Chris, we had the privilege of seeing you play basketball, and being a two-sport athlete, how is playing basketball prepared you for the workouts for football?
It helps with getting in shape because basketball and football conditioning is two different things. I think basketball is a lot more running than football, so it makes me more in shape so I can stay in the field longer.
You got a lot of accolades in your junior year. What are some personal goals for your senior year?
I expect this football team to win state, and I expect the basketball team to win state as well. So
Nice.
High expectations.
What are you most looking forward to this season?
The Pacelli game. That's on everybody's mind.
I've seen you grow over the last 2 years, man. You look bigger than I've ever seen you. How important was the weight room in your conditioning over the summer?
That was probably the most important thing, as long as it's eating and stuff. But gaining muscle, that's probably the way I've gained my most weight I've ever had.
Take us through what a typical workout in the weight room looks like on a regular day.
We go by quarters in our weight room. So first quarter, we usually go by cleans, power cleans, and then what would it be bench? Oh yeah, squat. Squat would be the second quarter, and then what else do we do? Yeah, we had the med ball throws, plyometrics and stuff like that.
So say you said you condition, that's your game, okay.
You mentioned the Pacelli game. If you can elaborate on that just a little bit and say, just how much that game is an important part of this season and how it can help you in the playoffs.
That game is probably the most important game to me because we've lost the last 2 years and I want to get the jug back.
What are your personal goals for the season?
My personal goals are I want to have at least over 500 passing yards, or not passing yards, receiving yards, and I want to win the state championship.
How is your relationship with your quarterback, Brooks?
I feel like we have a very strong relationship. I think we're on the same page on every play. He knows what I'm thinking. I know what he's thinking.
Yeah, good job.
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm Brooks Rowney and I play quarterback.
All right, Brooks, I'll ask the question. You're coming in your first year. I want to piggyback off what I asked Coach Gillespie. Talk about that relationship with him. He talked about coaching you hard. Talk about it from your perspective this whole offseason, learning under him.
Yeah, well, I'm sure from their perspective, it's kind of like a love-hate relationship. We're, back and forth, arguing, and, I'm being hard-headed, but at the same time, I realize, he's been coaching for 31 years. You probably need to listen to him. But no, he's been awesome to me ever since, we started this last year. And I wouldn't want to have anybody else.
Your QB1 now.
Yes, sir.
Tell me what that pressure feels like going into the season.
I put a lot of that in my faith. I'm a big Christian, and I give everything to God, and I trust His plan. And that's just how I kind of live my life. I don't, any pressure or anxiety, I pray about it and I give to Him. So that's always been how I've been.
Now that you're out of the position, how do you hope to really use it and stand out this season?
Well, I don't know. I just think it is a big role, and I'm really excited for it. But I want to represent the school and my family in the best way possible, along with my teammates. So that's my motto.
How's the mental preparation and the workouts leading up to the season going?
Yeah, it's going really good. I thought we had a really good summer all season, and I think we all got stronger and faster. And then mentally, going to really Coach Gillespie, he's dealt with all of that and has had a really good quarterback relationship with me, and he's someone that I could go to talk about really anything that I have going on. Just staying after practice to talk about some stuff, watching film. He's there for me all the time.
Do you have any individual personal goals this season?
Yeah, I just want to be accountable to my teammates. Just be better every single day. Not really focus on one area, just improving everything just a little bit each day.
Talk about your relationship with your running back and your receivers and Chris and Ian and Swift, and how important is that heading into this year?
Right. Well, this senior class, we're all extremely close. We've known each other for a long time. Holt is the newcomer, but we've all been really close for a long time. And Lane and I have been best friends since middle school, so we've had a great relationship. And then freshman year, Swift, Ian, Chris, we all play football together, so that bond just formed immediately.
We've asked everybody this, and I think we'd be remiss if we didn't ask you this. The Pacelli game, right? we have to talk about it.
That's the game.
You're the quarterback this season. What are you looking forward to in that game, and
yeah,
what do you hope to walk away with?
We all have a chip on our shoulder, but at the same time, we want the jug back, and we're going to go in there confident, and we're going to bring our A game, and we expect the same thing from them. But we're just going to go out there and do what we do.
Last year you went into the swamp and beat Glenwood on a last-second play. It was a very close game. Now Glenwood's coming here. I know that they're going to want to have, you guys have a target in the back. How are you going to prepare for that game, knowing that Glenwood's going to give it all they can because they know how close last year's game and they got beat in their home field?
Well, I think that the target on our back. I think we want to be the hunters. We're not the hunted, and that's how we're going to go into every single game. And we feel like we're not going to be in the underdogs in any game. We want to be the top dogs, and that's for every game that we play this year.
Everybody good?
Good job, man.
Good job.
Hey, my name's Ian McGarry, and I play center.
And I'll start the question off. I guess I should have asked him that. I didn't know you played center, but talk about your relationship with Brooks and how important is that heading into this year?
Yeah, it's very close. Before every play, he has to make the calls, get me right, because if he doesn't get me right, I can't get the rest of the line right. So it's got to be close, and we hang out a lot. Got a great bond. So yeah.
What are some of your personal goals for the season?
Personal goals probably be, those pancakes, being on the line, getting as many as possible. And just creating big holes for my running back, creating a good pocket for my quarterback, getting him his yards. So, yes, sir.
I think we got like 500,000 views on one of the TikToks for you, Pound Town somebody. But what did you do during the off season to get better at being a O-line?
Yeah, definitely the biggest thing, the weight room, getting stronger, working on the footwork. I have a coach I work with, helps me get my feet right, work on my technique, and watching film, stuff like that.
In the GIAA, you got a very tough schedule. You got to play First Presbyterian Day. You got to go to Stratford Academy. And these are all talented teams. I mean, besides Pacelli, I mean, you look at the other teams. I mean, what are some things you could take away from the season and just the talented schedule you got coming up?
Yeah, so we got a lot of good teams we play. You know, probably the biggest thing is just looking back on film, seeing what we did wrong last year, and seeing what they got this year. So,
This offseason, technique-wise, anything you improve on heading into this year?
I'd say the biggest thing I've been working on is run blocking. You know, staying low, using my feet to my advantage, using the quickness, and then just overpowering people.
We're going to go ahead and ask about both the games we've been talking a lot about today, both Glenwood and Pacelli. If you could just give me your thoughts on those.
Yeah, so I'm super excited for the Glenwood game. You know, I didn't play in it last year because I had an injury, but super excited for that. And then Pacelli, it's probably my favorite game. I'll never forget my freshman year. First time playing against them was probably the most fun I've ever had. So, very excited.
How does it feel to be a leader on the O-lineman, and how have you welcomed the new guy?
You know, it's been great meeting Holt and, you know, all the O-line, but, you know, I just got to do my best, make my calls for them because, you know, we all depend on each other. So if we're not all in sync, then can't do anything.
Do you like run blocking or pass blocking better?
I'd say run blocking because, you know, it's a little more physical, more fun, not as passive, but, you know, they're both very fun.
Mm-hmm.
Good morning, my name is Lane Cannon, and I'm the running back.
Lane, I'm going to start things off. You were the backup running back to Dimitri Flowers. You averaged 8 yards a carry, over 8 yards a carry, and you are now running back number one. How does it feel being the starting running back for the Brookstone Cougars, and what type of season are you looking forward to this year?
It feels great. I feel like being behind Dimitri last year very well prepared me. Got a lot of reps at scout team, and I'm going for 9 yards a carry this year.
What are some of the things you've done during the offseason to work on your speed and agility? I think you're a real explosive back. I've seen you come out that backfield when there was no hole, you just pew. So what are some of the things that you've done to help you go into the senior season?
A lot of plyometrics, a lot of heavy lifting. Our weight program is phenomenal with that. So probably even more fuse of the backfield.
How cool is it to play with one of your best friend Brooks and be in the same backfield?
It's so fun. The dynamic's crazy, and we love each other. We all love each other.
So it's a little bit looking ahead to the Glenwood and Pacelli games. How excited you are?
I'm extremely excited. I love rivalries, and I plan on playing my A game, all game, both of those games.
What does it mean to you to be a leader on this team?
It means a lot. Brookston's a community, and I love every single grade, freshmen, sophomore, juniors, and being a leader means a lot.
What's it like playing under the bright lights of Max Strong Stadium?
It's great. The energy's electric. Great student section, great lights. The LEDs are awesome. It's phenomenal.
What are some personal goals you set for yourself for the season?
I definitely want to rush over 500 yards, and we want to win the national state championship. I wish there was a national championship.
Good job, Lane.
Good job.
My name is Swift Branch. I play wide receiver and safety.
Coming behind arguably one of the best wide receivers Brookstone ever had, how did that pressure come behind Walter, and what have you done over the summer to prepare for your senior season?
I personally think, starting behind Walter last year was a big help to me, just to see how he played and like the game through his perspective of a D1 athlete. I think that was very helpful for me this year. And, the off season, I've really focused on core values of being a wide receiver, so like footwork, catching ability. But, I think it was actually really good for me to see just how he can work the offense last year.
Did you and Brooks have a lot of time this all season to go out and catch passes, get on the same page heading into this year?
Yes, sir, we did. And we've known each other for years now. And so the chemistry there is already very tight, but this offseason we have worked on building that even further.
Of course, I got to ask you about the Pacelli game. If you want to give me your thoughts on that real quick.
Game. I'm excited that we get another shot at them after what happened last year. It'll be exciting. It'll be a great game. We're gonna play our best. They're gonna do the same. So,
of course, to piggyback off that, you guys open up the regular season with Glenwood. Of course, we all know that was a super close game last year. How are you looking to hold down the fort here at home?
I am confident that we can beat Glenwood, especially in the MAC, with the student section going crazy and home field advantage, and just the growth that we've had in the offseason in preparation for this season. I think we have a strong chance against them.
What were some of the things you've learned from Walter Blanchard, who's now at Georgia, to develop your skill set better coming into this season?
Well, the biggest thing he did for me was teach me the offense. I was walking in, JV player last season. He had no clue what I was doing. He really taught me, how to run each route correctly and who to block and when. He was a big help on that. And he just gave me little tips and tricks, like releases or where to catch the ball in different scenarios. It was all great.
What does it mean for you to play for Brookstone?
Playing for Brookstone is an honor just because of that community that it comes with. You can walk down the halls and see all your buddies playing football with all the buddies that you're playing football with, and know there's something bigger than yourself that you're playing for. So, it's amazing.
What does it mean to you to be a leader on this team?
Being a leader is it's a big honor, and something I personally look forward to. Just furthering a bond with a freshman that I wouldn't know if I didn't play football is a really beautiful thing, and so I really enjoy that.
Who's your biggest fan, mom or dad?
Oh, that's a hard question. They are both here. I'm not sure.
Great job.
I wanted to take just a second. I neglected to do this earlier, and it's my fault. But I wanted to point out and recognize Henry Howell. Henry Howell's our new head of school that just started a few weeks ago. He's hit the ground running. And if you get a chance to introduce yourself, parents, members of the media, if you hadn't had a chance to introduce yourself, he'll be around. Say hello. I'm sure he'd love to talk to you and get to know you. But we're very fortunate to have Henry come and lead our school. And the expectations that Coach Gillespie's talked about, that these kids have talked about, are the same expectations that Mr. Howell has for this school on a grander scale, and we're excited to have him. So introduce yourself and get to know him. Thank you.
Thank y'all for coming.
Yes, sir.
We appreciate it. Parents, we're going to head down. They're already sitting in the stadium. Okay, and we're going to do a team photo, and then after that, we'll do all the individual stuff. Not happen without you. Thank you.
No, thank you, Rand. And listen, all your players very well spoken. Great job.
Absolutely. Great.
All right, everyone. We just got done with Football Media Day here at Brookstone. Great job by Coach Gillespie and his players. So well spoken.
Very well spoken.
Every one of them have a great answer to the questions we asked. I was really impressed by the quarterback, Brooks Roney. He seemed like he's about to step in and do a great job being the leader for this Brookstone team. And one of the things that I took away from this is that obviously they're looking forward to beating Pacelli. They want to get back from what they thought they should have won last year in that semifinal game. And I think this team as a whole is understanding what Coach Gillespie's expectations are. He set a foundation and a culture, and I think it's going to be a great season for Brookstone football heading into the 2023 football year.
I truly think it's going to be a great season as well, Thrift, and really state-of-the-art facilities, Max Strong Stadium. They talked about the student fan base and just everything that's been going on with Brookstone, and then I know that Pacelli is their rival, but they were talking about they want to beat Glenwood too. I mean, that's that first game, first regular season game, and we did get confirmation that is the first regular season game. They're going to play Chatco in a preseason game on August the 11th, and we'll get ready to get the season started here at Max Strong Stadium against the Glenwood Gators.
No doubt, and Brookstone looking to piggyback off of last year's season that was, I say, a success, losing in the semifinal. Heading into this year, they have a scrimmage game, which we found out. They do have a scrimmage game against Chattahoochee County next week at Brookstone. It's only going to be 3 quarters. We won't live stream any of that. But then after that, they got Glenwood at home, First Presbyterian Day at home. That was the team they beat in the first round last year. Then they play Mount Zion at Mount Zion. This is the gauntlet, the brutalness of their schedule in the middle of the year. Mount Zion at Mount Zion, Stratford Academy, who played in the state championship last year, at Stratford, Whiteville Academy, another team that made the playoffs, and then, of course, the defending state champion at Pacelli. And then they have 4 games to end the season at home against Crawford County, Westfield, Strong Rock, and Heritage Christian. Coach Gillespie, he's a great coach. I forgot to mention, he was also offensive coordinator at Georgia Southern, so he's a collegiate coach. He's one of the top high school coaches around the area, and he is rebuilding this program in Brookstone, giving them a lot of energy. And I'm excited, man. I think Brookstone has potential, along with Pacelli, to make some noise. And we have so many great coaches and great teams around this area. I expect a lot of success heading into the 2023 season. How about you, Richard? It would only be perfect. This would be a storybook ending if the GIAA state championship was Brookstone versus Pacelli. But somehow the seedings make them play in the semifinals. But I expect Pacelli and Brookstone to have very strong seasons. And, we're rooting for them. Here in the Chattahoochee Valley, we want to see both teams do good. Yes, they want to beat each other, and it's a great rivalry. I think it ranks up there with Carver and Spencer, with Valley and Lynette. I mean, some of the biggest rivalries in the Chattahoochee Valley. You got to put Brookstone and Pacelli. No doubt. It may be one of the number one rivalries. I believe so. Especially with what every player said, that their primary focus is Pacelli, and there's no hiding it. I know politically correct you want to say, as Coach Gillespie talked about, hey, every game's important. We take it week by week, but let's be all honest with each other and ourselves. Obviously, rivalries are a big deal, and winning those games are a big deal. And, of course, if you lose to your rival twice last year and won on it being a last-second play in the semifinals, they probably could have put Brookstone in the state championship. Heck, they might even won the state championship. Obviously, that's going to be something that's going to be motivation heading into next year. This is what everybody's hoping for next year's media day, that we're back here live streaming it, and in the background, the Brucelli jug is sitting on the table. Yeah, so we're excited. Thank you again for all your support. Make sure to share the video. Shout out to Scott Miller, the play-by-play guy for the Brookstone Cougars football team. He was sharing it, giving us a lot of likes. We appreciate everyone out there, including our premier sponsor, Alliance Specialty Contractors. Jody Crum and his staff supporting us is a big deal, especially as we head into this year. We want to give the best broadcast possible, and to be able to do that, we need support from the community, and we expect to be here live streaming Brookstone games. We're going to be at Glenwood. We're going to be at Pacelli. We're going to be at all the Muskogee County schools. We plan on Harris County, Russell County. We're trying to attack as many schools around the area as possible. So ADs, fans, anyone out there that wants to support or be a part of Georgia-Alabama Sports Live, please contact me or Richard Holdridge. So tomorrow, we're going to have our first live show. We haven't named it yet. We'll have a name when we start. It's going to be the Georgia-Alabama Sports Live scoreboard / we haven't came up with a name yet, so we're going to let that be top secret. How about that? Well, there you go. But we will be going live tomorrow. We're going to talk about today's media day, everything on Friday in all 8 Muskogee County schools. We'll even touch on Pacelli this upcoming year, Calvary this upcoming year. It's going to be a pre-show heading into the season. And then the following week after that, which will be August 13th, that will be the first show leading into what's going to be the first week of the season, August 18th. So hopefully me and Richard will get out, see some scrimmage games here in the next week or so, and we'll get a feel of what to expect with all these teams. Another great day. Again, shout out to Cindy Toad and everyone here at Brookstone and their packet that allowed this broadcast possible. Great job by Coach Gillespie and his players, and Brookstone football heading into the 2023 year on a bang. Muskogee County, great job. Their media day yesterday, and looking forward to talking about Calvary, Pacelli, Glenwood as we head into the rest of the year. Richard, any final thoughts before we head off the broadcast?
I think that the Brookstone faculty here did a great job putting on this event. The players were well spoken. I'm a believer in what Brookstone's going to do for the 2023 season. I'm excited about that first game, regular season game here at Max Strawn Stadium, August the 25th against the Glenwood Gators.
Excited about it. From Richard Holdridge, Thrift Barringer, signing off, Georgia Alabama Sports Live, SportsVisions. We'll be back again tomorrow to preview everything that's coming up for the 2023 high school football season. Thanks so much, and shout out to Alliance Specialty Contractors, our premier sponsor, the premier roofing company around the area.